Thank you, Lord. What an honor, what a privilege it is to be a part of your life this morning. Do me a favor. Don't call that friend. Call that neighbor and let them know that this is the Clara Luper Show where we're live. We're in beautiful living color. And to those of you who, like me, were wondering if the room is still blue, part of it is. There's some red in the room. Thank you, Reverend Drinkwater, for the job that you're doing. And happy, it's not an anniversary, but I guess it is. Happy 39th anniversary because, like you, I can remember down there on 8th and Stonewall when it was just a little old bitty church in a renovated washermat. But Reverend Drinkwater stuck to it. I think that's what all of us need. We can learn from the example that he has set. Great things happen when not only do you believe in the Lord, but when you believe in yourself and you have that stick-to-itness. That's what we're going to talk about this morning, that stick-to-itness. Not only about our good friend, co-worker, a young man that doesn't hesitate to inspire. You don't have to be a part of his church for him to say something good to you. But then what you have to do is to pay attention to what he says. So this is a special day. I'm not going to dedicate this program to you. That's too much. But then what I will do is let you know that we too love our minister, even though I go to another church, but we love our minister there at Redeemed Missionary Baptist Church. 39 great years. Way to go, Doc. And as my little experiences at the Civil Rights and at the Freedom Center, NAACP Youth Council, the NAACP, I can imagine what it's like to have to deal with people there in the church situation for 39 years. So pat yourself on the back or let your wife pat. No, you pat your wife on the back. Let her pat you on your back because tonight there will be a continuation of the celebration. The celebration not only of living, but of doing it. Way to go, Doc. Great things will continue to happen here during the next 1 hour. We have a lot of things to brag about. And as I was getting ready for the show this morning, I went out and got the paper and took a little look at it. And I said, my goodness, because I've seen the other paper that we all should be reading or buying or purchasing, even though they're not an advertiser here on the Clara Luper Show, but the Black Chronicle. And I was so proud of an article that I saw there on the front page, two of them really, but the one that I was the proudest of was where this retired colonel, young man, Don Davis, was named comptroller at the Oklahoma City Air Logistics Center at Tinker Air Force Base. Now, he's a retired colonel, but he's gone back to Tinkerfield after 28 years serving in the Air Force. He's back there, but he prepared himself. Even while he was in the Air Force, he was taking classes, preparing himself for this day. So let us all together here in Oklahoma City, let us continue to be proud of part of the foundation of our city, and that's Tinker Air Force Base. Because without Tinker Air Force Base, there probably wouldn't be a Carverdale edition. There probably wouldn't be an Edwards edition. Probably wouldn't be a lot of things going on. But definitely what is happening now is some changes going on. And all those changes, I wish my grandfather, I wish a whole bunch of people could see the changes that are going on there at Tinkerfield. But it came not from wishing, not from just praying, but from preparation. We're going to tell you more about that as we continue with the show. But Lex, since I done bragged on a little bit on Tinker, since I done bragged a whole bunch on that young man there at Redeemed Missionary Baptist Church, and since the room is still blue, mostly, will you play that special song for me? Let's send this out to my very special friend up there in Seattle, Washington. I know you're listening because I can tell, and we love you too, but I know you're going to love this song. Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much, Lord. What a blessed day. What a beautiful day. It is indeed an honor. It is indeed a privilege to be a part of your life because we all have a lot to celebrate about here in Oklahoma, here in our great nation. Something has happened that has never happened before. One thing, there's going to be a lot of other things that we're going to tell you about during the course of the show, but would you believe? And I know I have a good friend, Lieutenant Reddick. I don't know, William Reddick. I don't know where you are now. Sergeant Jones I know about where you are, but would you believe that at Tinker Air Force Base, not only is there a black man who is the comptroller that's in charge of that money, over that money, it's over, I think, $130 million. But Tinker Field Air Force Base, there out in the Midwest City area, has a black commander, Colonel Alan Jameson. Welcome to Oklahoma. He's coming from Alabama, so he's not going to be able to really understand the love and the friendship and the kindness that he's going to receive there at Tinker Air Force Base. But Colonel Jameson, I look forward to hearing more about what you do. I'm so proud of the fact of what you have done to make it here. I'm glad that you prepared yourself for this day, for this time in your life and for all of our lives. You're making a difference. You're not just talking that talk, you're showing how it can be done. Now, Colonel Jameson, and you can read about it also, but I want to tell you, just a joy to say it, but he joined the Air Force in 1986, graduated from the University of North Carolina. Now, he doesn't say what high school he went to, but he graduated from the University of North Carolina. He made colonel, promoted to colonel, in August 2004. Here we are, 2008, and he's a commander of a base. Boy, this man must be super talented. And in the Air Force also. Now, he has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, social work, a master's degree in strategic study from the U.S. Army War College, and he's done it. He's really prepared himself. He's been stationed in Missouri, Japan, California, Alaska, Colorado, Alabama, Arizona, Virginia, and Wyoming. Colonel Jameson, we have got to get you over to the Freedom Center. We've got to get you into our community. We've got to let our people see you, just to really see not only a colonel, but a commander of Tinker Air Force Base. Those of you who work out there, I know you are walking with a different walk. You know, you're talking with a different talk, and you're doing your job even better. Not that you could do it better, but you're probably doing it better there because you, too, are proud of the fact that right here, right around the corner, right up the street from where we're at, there's a black man that's running that big. Every time you see one of them old jets or one of them AWACS go by, you say, guess who's running that jet? Nobody. But a man that whose ancestors are the same as your ancestors, but who prepared himself. That's the big thing we want to do. We want to get out of it. He's in a gang, but he's in a gang that where you have to be prepared. He's in a gang called the Air Force, and he had to be. You just can't go out there and jump in the Air Force. You got to be prepared to go in there. I know that too, over in Tulsa, that Judy McIntyre is extremely proud of that fact because Judy, like I, knew a lot of people that were in the Air Force, and we're glad to be assigned to Tinker and know that they, wherever they are, they're sticking their chest out and extremely proud of it. Great things are happening for those of us who are prepared. I don't know if I'd made command. No, evidently I wouldn't have made. I did. I don't know if you made commander. Evidently you didn't. But we have put our time in, hopefully to prepare this city, this state, for this great honor that we have received. Things are really, the ball is really rolling. There at Tinker Air Force Base, I told you a little bit about that, but the 23rd Martin Luther King, where there's hometown, I still like to call it IGNA, but at hometown grocery store there, where you can get the very best in groceries, get the very best in meats, where you can get the very best in service, courteous service. It's difficult to go in a grocery store now and spend your hard-earned money, and somebody frowning, they had a bad day, bad night or something, and they come to work with an attitude and a chip on their shoulder, and it almost make your day bad. You don't find that at hometown because of the fact that they know that they are there to please, and they do. And something as good is happening right across the street from it, trying to keep up with hometown, and that's our Ralph Ellison Library. We'll be moving temporarily down the street on the other side of CVS, but it's just going to be a temporary move because they're going to improve. They're going to, I don't know what they can do to improve it, but we'll see what happens. I don't know if they're going to put another part on the building or expand the parking lot or extend the book space. You never can tell what our Oklahoma City leaders have planned for the future, but we do know that it will happen. It will be happening there 23rd. Northeast Martin Luther King. Sometimes it's 23rd, but all the time it's the Clara Luper corridor to me. Go ahead, Mom. But down the street from that, well, we'll get to that. I'll brag on that a little later on because it's such an honor to be preparing, to be ready for times like this. Mr. Hornbeck down there at Advanced Motors, he's a retired military man himself. I know he's walking differently, bragging differently, because who would have thought it? As we like to say sometimes, who would have thunk it? That there's a comptroller at Tinkerfield and the commander of the entire base and a new Ralph Ellison library coming up. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Great things are happening. Great things are happening. And I hope that you too are living your life in a way that when that time comes and you get face to face with the Master, you can say, thank you, Jesus, for letting me see it. I know I've done something to make a difference in my communities that I've lived in other folks' lives, but I know that I've done my best to get here. It's such a pleasure, such a joy. We're going to be talking also in a few minutes about the Freedom Fiesta. We're going to be talking about how we can really change. I think it's just my own personal thoughts here. You can love it or leave it. Hopefully you'll love it and put it to base. I got base on my. Put it to use, because school is getting ready to start. And you know, if you look around, there are so many different programs for our youth here in Oklahoma City. In Oklahoma, so many different programs. Can't understand why we're having such a problem with the young people here. Maybe it's time for some tough love. Maybe it's time for us not to just say, young kids, you need to do this, but young kids, this is what you are going to do. Not only in our homes, not only in the churches, but in our schools. I have a great suggestion, and that suggestion has to do with the promotions and things going on. I'm waiting on this call to come in, and I'll get back to those suggestions. Meanwhile, you be thinking of something special you can do personally to help make our city, help make our community a much better place. If you want to, you can call me out here. 672-1220 is the number, area code 405. For those of you who are on the computer, stay tuned to the Clara Luper Show. Let me give you an update on Mom. Well, I'll wait till after this particular song because I know that she's listening, and I know that she's made it so far this morning. We love you, Mom, and we are sending this out to you especially. Oh, my goodness. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? But, you know, trust in the Lord and work hard. Those young men out there at the Eastern Golf Club, that's their 10th and Eastern, right down the street. What would that be? South of Douglas High School. They just finished with a tournament, and it must have been great the way it reads. But I was, it kind of tickled me to see some names in there. These young men started playing golf years ago and have stuck with it. That's none other than, I like to brag on you, Horace Stevenson, Joe Hornbeck. I know that y'all have been swinging that club and chasing that little white ball all around, not only Douglas, but golf courses across this nation. And I'm so glad that we had a great tournament there at the Eastern Golf Course, because the golf course looks pretty. It adds to the beauty of our east side. Great things are happening right in our community. What are you doing to make this city, to make our state a much better place? We have on the line a young man that he doesn't just talk that talk either, but we'll see what he has to say. Good morning, caller. How are you doing this morning?
Morning, Calvin. How are you?
Fantastic. The second best day of my life. I'm so happy and honored. And thank you for calling. Who am I talking with, though?
This is your pain and sore and the sore inside Willard again. I told you I'd call back in 2 weeks.
Okay, well, no problem. I know some great doctors, black, white, and Mexican. I know at the VA hospital they take care of pains in the no matter where they are.
Hey, man,
so you really not no pain, huh?
That means I have to get eradicated if they're going to take it. I don't want to do that.
No, don't do that.
Okay.
But Willard, thank you for calling back again and ready to be a part of this, the Clara Luper Show, and sharing with our audience. You have some great plans for District 99?
House District 99.
Oklahoma House District 99.
I'm really kind of excited about the things you're building up towards your Freedom Fiesta.
Oh, man, thank you.
When I think of freedom, I think of all of the sacrifices that went forth for African Americans to enjoy some of the freedoms they now have in Oklahoma.
Yes.
The sit-in movement, the marches, and that sort of thing. Sure hate for us to take that for granted. And
Well,
back in the post-1968, 58 era.
Well, as you mentioned, this August the 17th, starting, we will be celebrating the Freedom Fiesta.
Mm-hmm.
The theme is 50 years later.
Wow.
We can't forget. Can you believe that over 50 years ago was that first sit-in down at Katz? Boy, it looks like not only was it a long time in numbers, but as you said, it was a long time in feelings and the changes that we've gone through. And my poor mom, other advisors there at the NAACP Youth Council, the NAACP Youth Council members, the NAACP members that have been a part of the Civil Rights Movement have made the sacrifices. Some of them the ultimate sacrifice. But then that has all led up to being able to see you run for a public office.
Well, and I tell you, I'm excited about it. I have a lot of concerns and fears, of course, but I just believe I have to get back on the stoop and say some things that happened in 2006 shouldn't have happened. They weren't good for us as a people. And while we had the sit-in movement, and Clara Luper worked so valiantly and fearlessly on that, I'm really concerned that in 2008 we're going to get sat on. So while we sat in, only to get to where we are today and get sat on.
Get sat on. That's a different way
trouble.
to get us. You mean get stopped in our track, even though we can look around us and see the things that are changing because of our impact as black folk. You think that that there's going to be a stop or some more roadblocks put in our way?
Well, yeah, I do, Calvin. I think that what happened, what I saw in 2006, was a community that had lost perspective of what their strategy was, and it became more focused on what their practice was. And again, when we talk about practice and strategy, voting straight party Democrat to achieve an objective became more important than what the objective was. I believe that there is an effective strategy for our community that goes back the better part of 80 years.
Wait,
most of our voters don't understand what that strategy is.
Let me sit down. Okay, now you say that what we voted on was we voted on a dream, or we misvoted, or what? I mean, say that again for me.
Well,
because even though I'm intelligent, I'm slow.
And again, I might need you to help me walk through this. When I say that there's a way that we get things done as a people politically, it has to do with how we did what we did. And sometimes we look at what we did, and again, even though I know it's been 80 years and you've done, remember I talked about cutting the ham at both ends, and 3 generations later, that generation didn't know why they cut the ham at both ends, only to find out that their great-grandmother didn't have a pan big enough for the ham, so she cut it.
That was the reason.
That was the reason why, but they didn't understand the reason why. They understood the why. We always cut the ham at both ends. And I think that's where we are in 2008, and I saw that happen in the election of 2006. We had African Americans like your mother and many before her that died to get access to the political process. I mean, to be seated at the table and talk about the issues that were important to African Americans at the table of policy. Initially, they came in 1863 and to the Republican Party, which was the party in the majority, and flipped over Democrats, party of majority. They flipped over to Democrats. And we've gotten used to saying, well, Democrats in control for 80 years. We've always voted for Democrats, and we believe that's what it was really all about.
So you think
really 4 years since Opio was silenced in 2004, we really haven't seen any measurable progress in our agenda, that being African American constituents. We have an agenda that transcends Democrats or Republicans' agendas, and we haven't been able to move our agenda. I think you used the word we don't have the political clout. Simply saying 44 votes won't make your deal happen until you get to 51. And I don't think the party bosses and the gatekeepers are telling African American voters that, and that troubles me.
Well,
so if I was to talk about a strategy,
no, that's what I want you to get to, because of the fact that it's easy to criticize, but then and it's easier to not do nothing, which a lot of people have done. But what is it that you will do if elected, when elected, or even during the campaign? What will you do to show us, to lead us to not maybe greener pastures, because that'll be out in Spencer, but lead us to the achievement of our goals and our dreams.
Well, I believe that I come to the table with the ability to articulate a message. I don't know what the message is, but people hold the message. And anytime we elect a representative, if they're telling us what's good for us, then we've elected the wrong representative. But I need to be hearing from the individuals that need the pothole fixed. And then we talk about how we negotiate enough support to get 50 plus 1% of the people in the room to go our way on that given day. I bring to the table, I believe, Calvin, the ability to, again, articulate that message. More importantly, to go in the room with the majority. There are 58 Republicans sitting in the state legislature. Without any regard to Democrats, they could pass any bill they wanted to. And we saw that with House Bill 1804 and lots of other legislation.
Right, resolutions and different
Democrats
things.
voted against them. Republicans voted for it. It happened. So I think I bring the ability to say, can they hear the same message in the Republican caucus that they're hearing in the Democrat caucus, with Mike Shelton and Jabbar Shoemate fighting so ferociously to have our voice heard. We equally need to take some action to make sure that same message is being heard inside that Republican caucus.
Well, Mr.
That's
Lindsay,
what I think I bring.
Mr. Lindsay,
Yeah.
can a Democrat vote for you in the upcoming elections?
In the general election, the answer is yes. If they understand that the greater opportunity to have our message heard is to send a duck, then you send a duck. Because like I said, it doesn't make sense to send a chicken to a duck fight. The issue is, can we move our agenda, or are we just locked in moving the Democrat Party's agenda? Or just
Send a chicken to a duck fight.
And I think African Americans have an agenda that transcends either. And we need to do what we have to do to make sure our agenda gets debated in both caucuses on either side of the aisle. I believe that.
Well, will you be a part of the Black Caucus?
I would be a member of the Black Caucus also.
Mm-hmm.
The caucus is a subset of the total legislature. And I take a sidebar to say that I don't think you can be in two caucuses. I will probably be arguing when I get to the legislature that black folks that get elected by Negroes and then believe they're Seminoles probably need to decide which caucus they're going to be in, because they can't be in two. Either you're going to be in the legislature and you also have a caucus representation. I believe I'm African American. I'm asking to be elected as an African American to go to the legislature and speak to the majority caucus, that being the Republican caucus. I don't think I'll lose my way after I get there and begin to think that I'm a Native American Indian or a Hispanic or something like that. We all got some different blood in us, but you got to decide whose camp you're in.
Man, you better clear this up for me.
I'm sorry?
You need to clear this up. What's your name? And what is your name?
My name is Willard Lindsay.
Is that the name that will be on the ballot?
Lindsay.
Lindsay?
Willard Lindsay. It's going to be on the ballot in November. I think that's the important race. We're focusing on the primaries, and while they are important for some races, the critical one is going to be what happens in November, because that determines what happens in Washington, in the White House. It's also going to be what happens in the State House. Do we have a voice within the majority caucus? Obama represents the majority caucus of Congress. Democrats are running Congress. We equally have to be challenged to understand. We have to also understand that the Republicans represent the majority caucus in Oklahoma. And the same thing we do in Washington to gain access to the White House is exactly the same thing we must do in Oklahoma to gain access to the State House. And that's the message that I really need some help to get to.
All right. Well, you know, and you've known that we want to be fair. We want everyone to know that you have options, and you have other people that are willing to accept the responsibility. And Willard Lindsay, you sound like a man that is ready to accept the responsibility of leadership and guidance for House District 99. So compliments on even running. You know, it takes a lot of nerve to run, but it takes even more nerve to stand up for what you believe. And you don't seem
I'll
to
tell
be
you, when you get ran over by a bus,
get
back out on the road again, that's called riding a bicycle second time. I want to close with a few thoughts here.
Please.
Talk about the people that are going to go to the polls and vote in November, on November 4th. I have the great concern that I want it to be understood that three types of people are going to go to those polls and vote. And we don't know who they are, where they are, but we know that there's going to be those who are going to be ignorant with no knowledge of that process.
Well, you know that won't happen. They listening to the Clara Luper
right?
show. They ain't no ignorance.
You got that. Those are going to be the ones informed with regard towards that strategy. And I'm excited about having an opportunity to talk to those individuals. But then there will also be some that are insane with disregard for the strategy, meaning they're going to send a chicken to a duck fight just because they've always been a chicken. That frightens me. We saw a large number of those voters in 2006. So I think if we're going to value our vote and vote our values, we need to make sure that we cast ballots in a way that restores our African-American constituency, our access to that process. If you vote any other way, I have very strong concerns that in 2 years from now, we'll all be back on economic plantations, sharecropping, back in what we call the entitlement forms.
You really have a way of putting things.
Yep.
But Willard, I'm looking at the clock on the wall, and it's saying one thing. I want to listen to more. May I invite you to come back and to be a part of the show on another Saturday morning?
You know I'll come.
Okay, well, the invitation is open. As we go through this week, and then I'll see you also, I know, during the Freedom Fiesta week. It's August the 17th through August the 23rd. And there are many events that will be going on. So stay tuned. I'll be going over some of that. Maybe I'll get a call in to get some more things that have been added to it. But I will share with our audience what I have. All right?
Sounds good. You got my support, and you will see me.
All right, then. He said it, and he's going to make a difference. He wants to represent us.
I know where I'm going.
You know where you're going. All right, Leonard.
All right.
Okay, we love Willard.
Okay.
Lindsay. See, I got it. Well, I don't have the ballot in front of me, but we got it going on. Thank you so much.
It's not about a party. It's about the people.
About the people. Okay.
About the people.
We're talking about yes, I'm thinking here that I never would have dreamt it. I know somewhere a young man, Abram Ross, is celebrating because of the fact that, one, all the black folk that are on the radio, two, that what has happened at Tinker Base, I think he fought very hard to make sure that there would be a Tinker Field, and three, now to see a black commander there, and four, a comptroller there, and five, the NAACP Youth Council getting ready to celebrate 50 years. 50 years later, we can't forget. The sit-in movement started right here in Oklahoma City. So what? But Marilyn, I think you're on the line. Marilyn, are you on the line with me? Well,
and yes, it did start 50 years ago, lest we forget. We can't forget, because what we did here in Oklahoma City changed the course of human history. Yes, when the young people in Oklahoma City sat down at Cat's Drugstore, it started like I don't know what you would say, a fire explosion that swept across the United States. Because when we sat down and didn't get up, young people all across the country started doing the same. So why should we celebrate the Freedom Fiesta if we were part of changing the course of American history? And to those young people, I would say my hat goes off to you.
Well,
these are the original sit-inners: Calvin, Lynzetta Jones, Gwendolyn Fuller, Elmer Edwards, Arita Carroll Tolliver, Portwood Williams Jr., Linda Pogue, her name is Ayana now, Lana Pogue, Betty Germany, Emma Posey Washington, Dr. Barbara Posey Brown, Richard Brown, Calvin Luper, and yes, myself, Marilyn Luper Hildred. And for the first time, Calvin, and for the first time in many decades, these original sit-inners will be here in Oklahoma City. And on August the 19th, August the 19th, at the Oklahoma Historical Society at 9:30 sharp. Don't be late, because we want to see your face in the place at 9:30 sharp. Write that down, Oklahoma City, at the Oklahoma Historical Society. There will be a news conference, and at this news conference, you're going to be surprised. I'm not going to tell you everything I know, because if I tell you everything I know, I might not see you on August 19th. But the Historical Society, the Oklahoma Historical Society, is inviting each and every one of you there. That's from 9:30 to 10:30 on August the 19th. And at 11 o'clock, we're having the Salad Fest there at Freedom Center, headed by Leola Ford and Wilma Ray and Charles Smith with Leo's Barbecue. Yes, we need your support. We need your help.
Right.
But on that Tuesday night.
That's the Cecil Williams Day also, isn't it?
That is Cecil Williams Day. I'm going to go back over the days in just 1 minute.
Okay.
But when I start thinking about the Freedom Fiesta, Calvin, I get excited. I get so excited I can hardly stand myself. And because on that night, and we will announce next Saturday, the program will be changed from Fairview because we're going to, I can't tell you where we're going right now because I haven't gotten the official approval, but we will have a mass rally saying freedom, 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 freedom. And the cry of freedom will go out all across this nation because we still ain't free.
50 years later.
50 years later, and we're still not free. And Calvin, let me tell you something about this Freedom Fiesta.
Please.
It was started on August the 17th, Doc Williams Day. Mrs. Mosley Walker is the advisor in charge, and speaking that day at 4 o'clock at the Friendship Baptist Church located at 2017 Northeast 20th is none other than the original sit-inner, a commando, and a Methodist, Reverend Samuel Craig, a former commando, and who is a AME Loudoun District, and he will be here in Oklahoma City. And ironically, at Friendship Baptist Church, do you know that Friendship Baptist Church has a minister by the name of Wayne Wyatt, who was in the sit-ins? Did you know that, Calvin?
No, I didn't, Marilyn. As you said, tell us more. Tell me more. My pen is moving fast. Wayne Wyatt there at Friendship Baptist, Samuel Craig. Those are two unlikely persons back then that you would have thought would have 50 years later there would be preachers, but they are.
50 years later.
They're doing it. They must
That's
be
right.
doing a great job to be invited to be a part of this, the Freedom Fiesta. And that
Well,
day,
Calvin, not only, we don't have to invite Sam Craig and Wayne Wyatt and those guys because they are history. They are history themselves. They sat in. They didn't get up. They didn't talk about freedom. They made freedom possible. Yes, they should be there, and we're calling for every sit-inner, every picketer to have your face in the place. And on Monday, August the 18th, is none other than Johnny Green Day. And at that time, we will have cakes and hot dogs. And at 7 o'clock at Freedom Center, we will have John Green and others will speak to our young people. Yes, and I told you briefly about Tuesday.
Well, why John Green? I mean, why John Green Day? Now, what did I know the man,
John Green,
and the name sounds familiar, but why?
Stay out of jail.
He did what?
They have to stay out of jail.
Oh, okay.
You can't forget people that help you, Calvin.
Okay.
You know that?
I just wanted to make sure that everyone else understood why the John Green Day is being celebrated. Because
not only that, the NAACP nationally said that the precedents that was set by the cases here during the sit-in movement helped direct the other court cases that the NAACP fought. Say, hey, we're not no newcomers in this thing. Thank you, John Green, for the contributions that you legally made during the sit-in movement. That's why we celebrate your day.
Okay, and then that Tuesday again, you say that
9:30. Williams Day, the black businessman. Yes, that will be someday.
That was
someday.
At 9:30 at the Oklahoma History Center.
Oklahoma Historical Society.
Oklahoma Historical Society. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And Bruce Fisher. Bruce wants to see, and you check your mail because thousands of handbills will be going out this week regarding the Freedom Fiesta celebration. And
yes,
I'm so sorry, Calvin.
That's right. It's ironic. I had to stand up and cough myself. I think I'm being choked with emotions of history, emotions of knowing the people, emotions of thinking back on the sacrifices that John E. Green made as a young lawyer, the sacrifices that Cecil Williams made as the black businessman. But then I look at the accomplishments that have come out of those sacrifices, and that was choking me up too. Merlin, that next day is a very special day too, and Bruce Fisher. I'm proud of the fact that I wonder what would have happened if there had not been a sit-in.
I don't know,
I
Kevin.
don't know. I wonder if Bruce would have been there. I wonder if a lot of black folk would be where they are today. But then, you know what could have solved that? As we're about midway through telling you about the Freedom Fiesta, if they would have just served us the Coca-Cola.
If they had served us Coke, what would have happened?
What would have happened?
What would
50
have
years
happened?
later.
But we never would know.
Never will.
We never would know. Because if it had not been, then what would be? Yeah. Okay. Now, Calvin,
yes.
I know you're the most intelligent listening audience in America is listening to find out more about the Freedom Fiesta.
Tell me more.
We're going to
tell
you about it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Tell me, and while you're telling me, I know we're listening not only in America, but wherever that computer will take us. But Merlin, we're anxious to know, and hopefully you won't choke up. I won't choke up as you talk about the very next day, which would be Wednesday. That's called the President's
Day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
And we're calling for all the past presidents and officers to join us at Freedom Center. Lest we forget America. We'll be at Freedom Center all that day, and I will tell you the details of that Wednesday's program.
Okay.
But on Thursday, it's Sit-Inners Day in Oklahoma City.
Uh-oh.
And Gloria Matthews is ready. You will have tickets going on sale on Monday night for the special Sit-Inners luncheon that we'll be having at Freedom Center. You can come pick up your lunches, take it back to your job, take it back to your friends. Soul Food Deluxe. You know, Calvin, the Freedom Fiesta was started so we could maintain the Freedom Center. We have our kids that we work with have a lot of nothing. And we have a lot of nothing over a lot of 50 years. You just have to do the best you can in maintaining what you have. So at this time, I would like to thank those of you that have continuously supported the Freedom Center and its activities over the last 50 years. Thank you so much. And I beg you to continue to support the Freedom Center and NAACP Youth Council. And on Thursday, I'll
come
call
on,
it all people that picketed, that sat in, that laid in, that squatted in, that prayed in, that kneeled in during the civil rights movement.
Stood in front of those garbage trucks.
What you want to say.
Stood in front of those garbage trucks and things.
At 4 o'clock at Freedom Center, starting at 4 o'clock, history will record the greatest story ever told because you are going to tell your story. You're going to tell your reflections of how you felt. Starting at 4 o'clock from 4 to 7. Come and see your fellow freedom fighters. Come up to Freedom Center and be a part of this great celebration. Do you know that this will be filmed by the Oklahoma Historical Society and will be put in the archives of history. So 50 years from today, your children and your grandchildren and your great-great-grandchildren would say, my people were involved. These are the changes, the social changes that came about because my daddy did not sit back and wait for somebody to do it. My daddy did it himself, or my mother was involved. Come up and tell your story.
And that's on what day, Merlin? That's Thursday?
That's Thursday at 4 o'clock from 4 to 7.
We got to move on, baby. The clock on the wall is moving, even though the week,
August
Friday. 17th is getting closer. Yes.
Okay, Friday is the Sit-Inners Breakfast. They're at Freedom Center, Pancake Breakfast by Nancy Davis and Letty Ruth Hunter and Lillian Oliver Day. Will start at 7:30 that morning.
Oh, my goodness. 7:30 in the a.m. you talking about?
Yes, Calvin. You told me to move right on along.
Okay.
I got to go.
Got to go.
Because on Saturday, August the 23rd, will be the climax of the Freedom Fiesta celebration. There will be Clara Luper's Day, and we're asking all of you to participate in the parade that will start at Pitts Park at 10 o'clock. Yes, that is Clara Luper's Day parade, led by
The NAP vets will be there.
Yes,
The
the
National
Lexington
Association of
University
Black
and the
Veterans.
Clara Luper Scholars and the Miss Black Oklahoma and the churches and the organizations. We're asking all of you, because it had not been for all of you, this day would never have been possible. Yes, Clara Luper's Day, but Clara Luper's Day only represents all of us. She is a symbol of what was, of what could be and what can be, and the unity that we have in our community. Yes, Clara Luper's Day on August the 23rd. But that night, Calvin, that night is a celebration that you won't forget. Every year during the Freedom Fiesta, we select people to honor in the Oklahoma City community. And those that are selected to be honored will be Mr. Willard Moore, Mr. Willard Moore, NAACP, E. Melvin Porter, Senator E. Melvin Porter, Portwood Williams Sr., Carl Holmes, and Nancy Davis. Yes, I'll tell you more about our nominees next week. But if you want a ticket to that dinner, which will be held at Fifth Street Missionary Baptist Church, the tickets are $25, $50, and $100. Just give me a call. I have your tickets ready for you. I am so excited because we have something to be proud of. Nobody can stop us because it's like a whirlwind that has infested the whole United States. We have something to be proud of and stand up and talk about. Yes, Oklahoma City, I am looking forward to you being part of the Freedom Fiesta celebration. And if you have people that participate in sit-ins that are no longer with us, let us know, because their names need to go down in the archives of history. Calvin, I love you. I love the freedom. Oh, freedom.
Yeah.
No freedom for me. Before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave.
Well, Marilyn, you know, I'm so proud and honored that you took the time to call. And I don't know where you are, but I know that you sometimes during the week you're at Allstate Insurance, located 730 West Britain Road, where also is the Uniquely You Boutique. And thank you for being a black woman with some stick to it, with backbone. Hey, we love you too. We'll get back with you, all right?
Thank you, Calvin. And radio listening audience, Clara Luper says she loves you.
What I got to. Okay. Marilyn, listen to this because this is very special. I'm going to solve the gang problem, but I have to tell you about it next week. But Carlos, Germany, yesterday he celebrated his birthday. Then there's another young man, I don't know if he's going to catch up with me today, if he's listening, but Nelson Mandela celebrated his birthday. And this song goes out especially to you two. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Nelson. Happy birthday, Carlos. Happy birthday to you. And may you have many, many more. Ooh, that was good to me. Wait till, I don't know when I'll get invited to sing it anywhere else, but if you need to invite me, write me a letter or see me during the Freedom Fiesta. I'll be happy to. Love you dearly. Make a difference this week. Let's stop this messing with ourselves or messing over ourselves and make our city, make our state, make our Midwest City area a much better place. We love you dearly.
And we'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Clara Luper Show. Join Sister Clara Luper here each and every Saturday from 9 until 10. And until next Saturday, may God bless you.
And the views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were not necessarily those of AM Radio 1220 KTLV.
Father, I need your help and a hand. Come on.
This is AM 1220 KTLV, Midwest City, Oklahoma City.